Good morning, everyone. So markets are pulling in here, and I showed you the reason why it was extremely likely that it would happen a couple of days ago, and so here we are. So hopefully, you protected yourself, and even more so, profited from this pullback here. So the next question is it over? And I'll tell you, absolutely not. This pullback here, pullbacks happen. This is just a normal part of what the market does. Is this going to be a pullback bigger than the others? It's a possibility. No one actually knows for sure, but there are some reasons to believe that it could be. But from a short-term perspective, what are the levels to pay attention to now? Now, one of the things I always try to do a little education with these videos. So one of the little tips here is, how do I know, or how could you know, where the likely turning points or stabilization points might be by looking at even the daily chart without looking at the intraday chart? So one of the concepts that we teach our students is that overlapping opens and closes, even in a momentum move, so you get a stall many times where this is where it opened, the next bar opened, you get a little bit of overlap between the bars, like here. That little bit of overlap will be seen as a base, a consolidation in a smaller time frame. So what we do is we look at that on the daily chart. Now, you might be a swing trader and you're not looking at intraday charts. Not that you couldn't, but some swing traders, they don't want to be influenced by the little gyrations on an intraday chart. Now, I'm using a 180-minute chart here to go out to a higher intraday time frame to condense the data, not to see all of the little wiggles. And this time frame is a choice that I like. There's no perfect time frame. So another tip, you'll see people using 233, some Fibonacci number or whatever it might be. As you know, there's no holy grail. So this is just a choice, that I've used for many, many years. So here's the little consolidations there. And so just looking at the daily with these overlapping bars, these would be the likely places. And now I go to, what are the subjective reference points, meaning it's something other than price that others might be looking at, specifically institutional traders and funds. And that would be the most commonly used moving averages. And those would be, on a short-term perspective, the simple 20 MA and the simple 50 MA. And you might say, well, Greg, what about exponential period moving averages? You could use that if you like. That's kind of a, I don't know, traders think, I'll be a little bit ahead of the others because that moving average uses a little faster. I don't subscribe to that kind of thinking. You're better off just being consistent in whatever it is that you're going to use. And I, like simple with it, everything I do as far as technicals go. So the simple ones have worked just fine for a couple of decades now, and I'll continue to use them, forever. Not that I didn't look at that, as part of my self-education and looking at exponential and weighted and triangular and volume weighted and, all of those things that deter us from focusing on what matters, and that's price. So, this could be a very likely point where, at least if prices were to come down here in a fluid way, meaning, almost a straight down move or a slightly angled move into that area, and then we were to get, let me just clean that up there, and then we were to get a nice bottoming tail bar in that area, that would be a great long signal, potentially for a move somewhere back up toward here. It might make a lower high, and then we see if it rolls back over again. Ideally, from the daily time frame, you get two bars, meaning 2 days of stabilization, which creates a larger base intraday to launch a move to the upside. So we'll see how that all shapes up. But for right now, we're looking for ideally a move down into this area where we have the moving average focal points and the price focal point aligned with that, and that would be, a great place for buyers to step up, and then we'll see what happens from there. Now, as we do that, we're going to look at the S&Ps and see how they're holding up, and right now they're holding up better. They lagged the NASDAQ, so they are not as extended. So for right now anyway, they're holding up. But we'll see if it breaks below this support. And, this area now with the moving averages, is there something there? Well, we got some overlap over here. And so we see 2440-ish to 50-ish. And here you have 2441. And I just threw the line there and the price is there. But this is the this is the area. Right? See the little base, same thing. That's the little area right there. So while it's holding right here for now, we'll see. But if it should start to break, that's where we look for it to move down to, and then we'll see if the buyers want to step up at that point. We'll look at the price action. Got oil up against the 200 MA here. That's where prices broke down from. The weekly is in a downtrend, but you've got, he bounced from the support there. We looked at that a few weeks ago, and there's the bounce coming up into resistance. We'll see what that does. And bonds, just, EKG here, up, down, up, back down. It looked really good over here, which started to break out, but it was a breakout failure. It happens. Came back down to some support here, and it's beginning to destabilize. We're going to have a red bar on the weekly, which suggests lower. But if we were to get a green bar next week, then we'd have this, what we call a bear sandwich, meaning you got two green bars, right, one on either side of the red bar. So that kind of a reversal. And while that's really whippy price action, it does tell us that buyers are stepping up on the pullback, but we'll see what next week brings, and we'll update that accordingly. And solar still looks good. I showed you, in past videos and to definitely our subscribers, that this bottom that was beginning to happen here, and we took advantage of that with some of the solar stocks, and they're holding up pretty well. Financials, they've begun to pull back here. They're up against this resistance area here. So really interested to see if this can go sideways here next week. Because if they do, it just opens up the door to, what could be a monster kind of a move in the financial stocks. But we still got to wait to see to get the confirmation of that, since, Citi looks, it looks good. It's got lots of room, and J.P. Morgan. And so the financials are definitely ones that could lead. They reported their earnings. Buyers stepped up on the dip of that, and so we'll see if they can consolidate here and get going here. Sometimes things just take time. And I guess the big news here is Amazon, the mighty Amazon, getting a little bit of a profit taking on the earnings, and it's certainly a stock that deserves a little profit taking. It's done fantastically well, amazing, and honestly, I love this company. I buy so much from there, and and so many others. I mean, it's just fantastic. Just go online, see what you want, press the button. It's here in a couple of days if you're a Prime member. Just a fantastic company. So at some point, it'll be a great buying opportunity as well. And so let's see how far this pulls back here. What else is on the radar here? Some stocks getting shellacked here. Here's one down $24. And, WCD is down almost $5. So we got some, companies out there taking a hit. Google's down about $5 here. Bob is still holding up. That's done fantastic. Probably deserves a little bit of a pullback. So as the market pulls back here, probably will as well. NVIDIA, this is one we sold a call spread on yesterday. And what else is moving here? Well, Square is actually up a little bit. Well, it got hit yesterday. So, there's a lot of damage having been done, through the NASDAQ stocks yesterday. But if you've been listening to my video updates here, you were aware of what was coming, the potential of what was coming, and you could have protected yourself accordingly. And you know what? If you listened to those and thought, well, here's just another guy recommending, here's a turn, I'll tell you that I've been doing this with subscribers and students for about 20 years, and uncannily accurate at finding short-term tops, and the bottoms are a piece of cake. So if interested, go to the Master Trader website, get a trial to our letter services, and you'll see what we do in action. Have a great weekend.